Hello everyone, welcome to another AMA of the Crypto Herd, where we're going to talk about Hashrush, the Warcraft of Web3. So guys, Hashrush just released their beta and it's looking amazing. They added a bunch of new features, flying units, new map, a new game mode, new heroes for you to craft. So it's about time that we bring here Nathan, the studio lead of Hashrush, to talk a bit about what's new and what's the future of Hashrush. How are you, Nathan? Welcome to the Crypto Herd.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure to do these AMAs with you again.
Yeah, it's the second one. It's
Yep.
quite nice. The last time we talked, Hashrush was, I think it was like during the last playtest, I believe. And well, now you guys just added a bunch of new features, and there's so many new things to do. So, Nathan, maybe some people in the audience still don't know you. Do you want to introduce yourself and talk a bit about your project?
Yeah, sure. I'm Nathan. I'm the studio lead and creative director of Hashrush, the first RTS blockchain game. The setting of Hashrush, if you are familiar with games like Warcraft, StarCraft, and Age of Empires, then you'll feel right at home. We took, let's say, the most popular elements of these games and made our spin of it. Like in Warcraft 3, you had your heroes and your standard units. We have the same functionality as well in the game, where you can craft heroes or you can purchase them from the store. But the heroes enhance your, let's say, gameplay um, in multiple ways in terms of, let's say, their own skills and on top of that, how the blockchain comes into the mix as well is that you can craft gear for these heroes to enhance them even further.
That's right. One of the features is that if you actually craft some of the heroes during the beta, you're going to be able to keep them on your Vorto account, right?
Yes. Yeah. Right
Okay.
now we have in our, let's say, previous playtest, we offered the chance of for players to craft Sarnak, our first craftable hero, and keep it after the playtest was done. And now we have three more heroes coming into the mix. So we're happy to have people joining the beta, which of course goes open tomorrow. So everybody can join and play our two main game modes that we have live currently. The standard mode, which is the, let's say, standard RTS, and the dungeon mode, which is a completely new mode as an addition to this beta, and brings, let's say, an even more flavor to the game.
That's great. I've tried already the closed beta. I had some fun playing it, especially your new game mode, the dungeon mode. So, Nathan, how many developers do you have working with you right now on the Hashrush?
If we take everybody, let's say both art side and then back end, front end, and let's say coders, we have up to eight, 9 people working. They fill, let's say, multiple roles, but they're very good in their key areas as well. So we have, let's say, a very um, flexible team working on the game.
Are you planning on expanding?
Yes, in the future. Right now we're in this beta stage, and we're looking to polish everything up for early access later this year. Um, yeah, I'm in the standard mode right now. I'm gonna do some, let's say background playing while we're talking.
Talking a bit. Okay. So, do you want to cover what's new in this beta? What are all the new features that you've added to Hashrush?
Yeah, the main new feature is the dungeon mode, which I hope to go into later in the stream. We've added an entirely new planet to the game, adding the total amount of biomes to 4. We have the forest biome, which I'm playing right now. We
Oh
have the
yeah.
Fey biome and plains and thunderlands biomes as well. So you have uh, let's say a wider variety of maps, and each of these maps also holds special unique resources that you can get by playing these maps, and those are key components into crafting as well.
Hey, that's great. So what are you doing now? Some collecting some resources from the surrounding environments with your Ernak workers?
Yes, yes, I am harvesting wood, food, and ore. These are, let's say, the main resources that you have to focus on early in the game. Later, when you expand, you're gonna have to find. Let me see if I can quickly find them. Okay, these firefly trees,
Yeah.
which are, let's say, more used for upgrading your buildings, your units, and so on. And of course, you have the crystals, which is the catalyst for crafting, since every recipe requires a certain amount of crystals as well, as you can see here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
Those
have,
are like to
yeah,
craft heroes, right? And materials.
yes, yes, that's the case.
That's great. Talking about these new NFT heroes, are you planning on then selling these on Vorto Marketplace in the future?
These we divide our heroes into different categories. You have heroes that you can craft yourself in the game, and there are of course heroes like the founder bundle heroes, which we released last year. Those are, let's say, exclusively purchasable from the Vorto Marketplace. Not Vorto Marketplace, but the Vorto store, and but you can trade them and sell them to other players on the Vorto Marketplace. So heroes are tradable.
Oh, that's great. That's a true power of NFT gaming, true ownership of your in-game assets and the freedom to do with them whatever you want, including selling them
Exactly,
for profit. So,
exactly.
are you guys? I mean, in other NFT games, we saw like hero NFT renting, like for example, Pegaxy, where you could like rent your Pegas, and maybe X Infinity, you could like create a scholarship and somehow rent your X's. Are we going to have something like this in Hash Rush, where we're going to be able to like rent our heroes for like passive income?
Uh, that is a possibility that we would like to explore with, let's say, future game modes of you actually renting out. Will it be a hero per se, or a specific mode later down the road? That is for us to decide, but we have not forgotten that key feature.
That's quite good. That's quite good. It would be nice. So we saw right now dungeon mode, standard mode with a bunch of new maps, but you've also mentioned Titan maps and perhaps PvP in the future. Do you want to comment on that, Nathan?
Yes, the Titan maps will come in later down the development road, along with, let's say, PvP down in the future. The Titan maps are, since the goal of the game in terms of story is you're recovering after this huge calamity, which was the Crystal Storm, and let's say the Crystal Scourge has infested all of these planets in the Hermaean galaxy, and you play as the Ernax, which is a de-evolved faction that was, let's say, very sophisticated and let's say fluent in the arcane magics. You let's say you go through these planets and try to cleanse them from the Crystal Scourge, and these planets also, from the Crystal Scourge's side, they have a Titan, and each planet has its own Titan that we want to develop.
Okay, so it's going to be like a boss
Yes.
that's going to attack your base and try to slaughter everyone, all your Ernax.
The idea of the Titan map is you start off in one section of the map, and you have to go through the entire map and do certain objectives. After those are done, let's say the final boss room, let's say, opens, and you have to take on the boss unit of the enemy.
Isn't that a bit like dungeon modes?
No, because you have the RTS element. You have to build your base. You have to
Okay.
get your army set up, and then of course the AI will attack you. But yeah, the goal is not just to destroy those enemy bases, but to get to the final boss.
Okay, that's great. Let me just welcome everyone that is watching us right now. Guys, hit that like button, help us out with the YouTube algorithm. So also more people join the Hash Rush party and get this content. Also consider subscribing for more NFT gaming content. Don't forget that in the end we're going to have some questions, community questions. So if you have questions for Nathan, save them until the end. So Nathan, in the lore of Hash Rush, there's like a bunch of different civilizations. Right now, we can play with the Ernax, and we're fighting against some sort of other civilization. When can we play with new civilizations?
Let's say new factions are planned for, let's say, later, the latter part of 2023. Let's say earlier designs will be shared a bit sooner. This I'm right now showing the one of the hero units of the game,
Oh, the Melingar,
Meligar.
right? Yeah,
Yes, with its own abilities.
that's
But yeah,
great.
yeah. First off, what we want to do with we want to make a solid one faction that is, let's say, easy to grasp and then easy to understand and control. After that, we can expand into other factions that the lore of the game allows us.
Okay, so I just got one new question. So we have a bunch of like NFT heroes,
Yeah.
which we can use with the Ernak civilization. So when you launch other civilizations, are we going to be able to use the same heroes with the new civilizations?
Yes, that is the intention, because the let's say you play as the good guys per se. Of course, you have your own. They have their own set of motivations in terms of story. But yes, you won't be locked out of your heroes if you decide to switch a faction.
Okay, that's good. This was highly inspired by Warcraft, wasn't it? I mean, the
Yes.
abilities with the heroes and everything. And I still played some Warcraft 3, and I get this like feeling of nostalgia every time I play Hash Rush.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's one of mine and Chris's. He's a creator on Discord.
On
It's
Discord.
one of our let's say favorite RTSs that we played when we were kids as well. Because
Yeah.
Warcraft 3, it's a legacy game. Let's say.
Yeah, damn, it's a pity that they've never developed Warcraft 4.
Well, they did try to make Warcraft 3 Reforged, but
Oh, it wasn't
unfortunately,
good.
it was it needed to cook in the oven for a year or 6 months at least.
Yeah. For Blizzard. So,
Oh,
Nathan, yeah, it was a bit of a disappointment. I think the last releases of Blizzard were a bit of a disappointment. Starting with Diablo and then also Warcraft Reforged. It wasn't also good, but well, it is what it is. So, Nathan, I mean, you guys have chosen quite like an unpopular platform to have your game on. I mean, not that many NFT games are in Vorto, right? Why did you take this decision?
well, let's say we are closely tied with Vorto as let's say on a company level, and it's great to have um, to share their vision in having a great platform that hosts let's say a lot of these fun games in the future. And it's a really great pleasure to work with a lot of members of the team. Let's say in every aspect of the spectrum.
But is Vorto like a blockchain?
Vorto, they have let's say they have their own goals, but we are the showcase title of the platform. Of course, you have the marketplace trading and minting of NFTs. That's all, let's say, handled on their side.
So it's like a layer two?
Uh, I won't be able to go into much detail on let's say Vorto per se. So.
Okay. Sounds good. Do you know if they have like any other games that are going to be released on that same platform?
Yes, we're, let's say, discussing partnerships all the time. But let's say to go into more detail, that would be a different kind of AMA, if you understand.
Yeah, sure. Let's stay on topic here. So I
Yeah.
actually saved one of the questions I'm most curious about to the end, which is tokenomics and play and earn. How are players going to be able to earn in Hashrush in the future? I mean, you already have the NFT heroes that you can craft and sell, but besides that, what else are we going to have in terms of play and earn?
When playing one of our game modes, you get certain amount of certain items. Like for example, in standard mode, you can get materials depending on which biome you play in. In the dungeon mode, you get these resources called cores, and cores are used for crafting new gear, and of course both materials and these equipment cores. We want to let players, let's say, trade them to each other, and have this, um, let's say, trading economy going as well
Okay, so it's going to be basically like
on the Vorto Marketplace. Yeah.
so it's going to be basically resource trading and hero trading.
Resource trading, hero trading, let's say vault keys from the vault feature that we have also implemented. Those will be able Players will be able to sell those to other players as well. It is the bigger the game gets, the more things we add to the mix, the more, let's say, we will open up the trading possibilities of other items that you get from the game.
Okay, that's cool. So what are you doing now? You're like fighting the aliens who invaded the planet of the Arnax?
Yes, I'm clearing out some of the Crystal Scourge minions so I can build, let's say, a crystal harvesting expansion for my base. After which, I really want to go at one of their bases because, oh, I have encountered one of their, let's say, AI attacks on my base. Good
Yeah,
thing
you're
I
about to be
intercepted them.
raided.
Yes, from one of the three enemy bases. But I think my guys should be able to take these guys out pretty
Yeah,
easily.
it should be fine.
And yeah, if let's say you in the standard mode, since you have a lot of these units, it's not that micromanagey. But in dungeon mode, you have to micromanage your troops way more than in the than in the standard mode
Do
because
you
every
already...
unit counts.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Do you already have control groups? You know what I mean? Like adding like the archers to a hotkey and maybe like mages
Yes,
to another hotkey.
yes, we have control and shift, so so
Okay.
players can make their own control groups.
Okay, that's cool. That's great. So, what about tokenomics? Are we going to have like a token like in other NFT games?
Um, let's say not a token per se. We have some, let's say, juicy info coming in the next few weeks on, let's say, more on the tokenomics side. I don't want to spoil
Oh,
any surprises that we have for users. So yeah.
you're hyping us right now with
Exactly.
with what's coming for Hash Rush. So what's
Yeah, a
next?
lot of good stuff.
So what's next? Right now we have the closed beta, which is going to be open beta tomorrow. Everyone's going to be able to play and craft some heroes, test out the new features, and then you're going to like shut down the game, right? And what's the next step for Hash Rush, Nathan?
The next step is early access, uh, and after early access is released, oh, there's one guy trying to attack my base. After early access, the game stays permanently on online, and people can join whenever they want, and enjoy Hash Rush.
Is that going to be at the end of the year?
Yes, closer to the end of the year.
So, so it's going to be like
This year.
this year, yeah, yeah, this year. So maybe like November, December, going to have like the closed access or early access.
No, we're thinking on having the um, let's say game being open when it releases. That's let's say right now the intention. But stay tuned for updates.
Yeah, can't wait. Anything else you want to share with us, Nathan, about Hashrush and its development?
Yeah, a lot of good stuff coming for later in the year. Not only for this open beta, what we wanted to show you, let's say the upgraded buildings as well, new units. We have flying units in as well, and one of our craftable heroes, Lear Macaw, is our first flying hero. So yeah, we have a lot in store and can't wait to just build everything up way more. So we have, let's say, a very special game, and not only for the genre of RTS, but for let's say for crypto games in general.
Okay, okay, that's great. That's great. I do think that Hashrush is really the first crypto RTS in history, right?
Yeah, we let's say we were one of the pioneers way back in 2017. So let's say that's one chip on our shoulder.
That's yeah, that's right. That's why I think that Hashrush has lots of potential because it's already quite polished, you know, even for a beta. And you guys have like the first mover advantage as a crypto RTS game.
Exactly. So one would say that the RTS genre is not the easiest, let's say, because there's a very huge, let's not barrier of entry, but things you need to get right, which are, let's say, staples in most RTSs. Of course, like control groups, various units, buildings, and so on. So, but I think we did a very good job at nailing these core fundamentals.
For sure you did. For sure you did. Okay, that's great. Do you want to tell us what you're doing right now in the match? Are you
Yeah,
are
I
you are
am.
you are you are you confident that you're going to win?
Well, I have a little bit of a force here, but the enemy is constantly harassing me a bit. But I think I can get some defensive structures in so that I can start, let's say, exploring the map uh, way more.
Okay, okay. That's quite cool. So I don't have any more questions for you, Nathan. I wonder if someone in the community has questions for you, guys. If you have them, type them on the chat so I can ask Nathan your questions about Hashrush.
Let's see some defensive structures.
Building some towers so you can
Yes.
attack the enemy without worrying about your base and resource collecting.
Well, you always have to worry about your base for a bit because there are three enemy settlements that you have to take out, and they're let's say constantly trying to get to you.
Yeah, I noticed that like the AI is quite annoying. They're always like sending monsters to multiple bases.
Yep, exactly. Let's see if I can get some.
So, guys, you think Nathan is gonna win? Let me know in the chat.
Things should be pretty straightforward after I get a few more units. And yes.
You know what? I'd love to see Nathan.
Yes.
Competitive hash rush, just like you know, StarCraft. They have like this ladder and they have different ranks, and it's like super competitive. They have like this esports vibe and everything. And I would love to see hash rush like that. You know, like okay, for people who want to do the dungeon mode and kill a boss wherever, they could do it. But then you would have like PvP with the ladder, with like maybe rewards at the end of the season or something, maybe in tokens, maybe new heroes or maybe skins, wherever, you know, like that would be great. Like having an esports hash rush, I would love that. And that's something that still doesn't exist in NFT gaming.
Yeah, that's one of the goals later in development. But let's say right now, what we're pushing for in let's say early access is the, let's say, overall polish and replayability of the game itself. Because once we have those fundamentals nailed down, and everything is working as let's say as intended, and everything is fluid, then we can start, let's say, adding both content and let's say content as in, let's say, new maps, new enemies to take on, new titans to fight. But let's say the whole uh, modes, as in, let's say, a PvP mode, a different mode of sorts. But yeah, we have a lot of great plans for the future of Hashrush.
That's right. Actually, I mentioned ranked games, and some members here in the audience they got quite excited about it.
That's awesome to hear. Okay, let's go a bit further.
So now you also have buffs and debuffs, right? Actually, we see like some debuffs on top of some units. What's that? Like healing, fire.
Yes, we have, let's say, damage over time for some of the units.
There's
We
bleeding and
have,
fire, right?
yes. So let's say your heroes have, let's say, different abilities, and let's say Meligar is one of the best, let's say, more offensive. Ooh, this Wyvern is not liking something. There we go. So you have, let's say, as you can see, it has, if you hover over the unit, it has a burn damage over time that deals damage for I believe 10 seconds, if I'm correct on that. I think, yeah, it's 10 seconds. And I just lost Meligar, but my archers will do short work of the Wyvern. Good, good. And also we have your, let's say, basic units also have their own abilities that you can upgrade, and to have a better chance of, let's say, destroying the enemy base and so on. Oh, and while I was talking, did
You're
not
getting raided
notice.
on your base.
Yes, unfortunately. Oh, that's a bit embarrassing.
Also, the upgrades are
Uh,
new, right? You also have like 2 buildings for upgrades.
yes, you have, let's say, upgrades for your, let's say, basic workers, and you have, let's say, grand unit upgrades as well. Let's see.
It's quite cool. Actually, I really like the balloons. I've tried the balloons and they're like so OP. Especially if you do the upgrades and you get like all the skills.
Yeah, exactly. The chain lightning is, let's say, needs to be toned down just a bit. But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think that I will win this one.
Come on, Nathan, you can beat the game that you've built.
Well, one thing is, let's say, playing it, and the other is, let's say, uh,
Building
testing a
it.
few of, let's say, showcasing it, and then talking over all the features, and so on. It requires, let's say, I don't
Yeah,
know, a
by
sixth
build
sense or something.
build more barracks. I think if you have like lots of resources, you build more barracks, you can like
Yeah, I have a lot of resources. That's
yeah.
that's that's
You need
quite
like
true.
more military buildings.
Okay, I'm taking care of one of their bases. Key defensive structures. Okay, barracks, please start popping out units. Let's see. Ah, I need some fireflies, but I think my settlement here has also been destroyed. Yep, that's true.
Yes, it was. I think you also need to add like an alarm to the game, like when you're being attacked.
Yeah, well, it shows up here, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You need like
sometimes it's a
some.
bit tough to see everything. Yeah, but of course, let's say not only visual cues, but sound bites will also be added for early access. Okay. And I think I'm gonna lose this guy as well. No.
Yeah, I think like you really need to build more barracks, like to train units faster. I think that's what I would do right now. Barracks, like aircrew range, like get your lazy airnax working.
Yes, well, we have enough resources right now. We can all just go and try to
Yeah,
blitz these barracks up.
yeah. If you had like fireflies or lumens, what's the name of the other resource?
Uh, Fireflies.
Fireflies. You could like train mage. I think mages are super OP right now, and
Yes.
yeah,
Let's see. Well, I'm getting some control back.
yes, yes. You've
Well, at
also
least I'm destroying one of their bases. So.
you also destroyed one of their bases. That's right.
Okay. Another structure. Ah, another wave. The struggle is real right now. And yes, food is a necessity right now. Okay, and my 3 archers are pretty much done with the base.
Feel like now you need food, so
Yeah, so
you're running out.
I actually might go into the dungeon mode, so we don't stay in one mode. It's
Okay.
not me admitting defeat, of course, but yeah, it's me wanting to showcase more of the game and what we have.
Okay, so yeah, let's do it. Let's go dungeon mode.
Let's see.
So guys, now we're going to see Nathan playing dungeon modes, okay? In the meanwhile, subscribe to the Crypto Herd for more NFT gaming content, for more AMAs, basically everything related to NFT gaming. That's how we do the whole day. Creating content so you guys are always updated about what's coming in the world of NFT gaming. Also hit that like button so you help us out with YouTube algorithm.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. All right. So I'm in the dungeon mode right now. As you can see, I have a lot smaller unit stack in total. Okay. Destroy these guys so I can open. You have to in this mode also. You can't just blitz through every door, but you have to go and clear out the enemies in each room in order to progress further.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Mr. Krog.
Did you get healers?
You can take healers with you, or when you let's say when you clear out a room, it can sometimes spawn a healing fountain that heals all of your, as you can see here.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can heal your units pretty fast. We toned it down just a bit because you could get units back to 100%. As you can see, Sarnak took a bit of damage, so I should keep him in the reserve for a bit. Let's explore here.
You also have a timer, right?
Yes, if the timer runs out,
You
then
lose.
you lose. So pretty straightforward. Get to the end, defeat the final boss of the dungeon, and of course get rewards. And hopefully you can get cores and get nice and get some equipment crafted. Okay, let's go. Okay, there's more units here, so no healing fountain spawned.
What are the abilities of the mounted hero? Actually, I don't have that one. I only have the three initial ones: the mage, the tank, and then there's like one which is like some sort of support that can buff units.
Yes, Sarnak was our
Oh,
first craftable hero. I think I can move him out to show him a bit more. His Q is a AOE, let's say stomp, stun attack. His W increases movement speed. Right now, I don't have enough mana, which is replenishing just, let's say, slowly. Speed Shout does, let's say, it increases your movement speed to all units around Sarnak, and his E is a charge attack that knocks enemy units back.
Quite powerful.
Yeah, it's an all around great unit, especially if you have multiple cavalry units and you can let's say mix it all together.
Oh yeah. I think also one thing that would be cool is like to add like certain bonuses. Like for example, I remember I used to play a lot like Age of Empires. There was like units that were good against cavalry. There were like units that were good against infantry. They also have this like some sort of bonus multiplier, damage multiplier on certain units.
Damage multipliers, yes, we have planned. Let's say all the enemy units and then player units will also have their own. Um, they have their own set of abilities. Why is he trying to hug that? Okay, now we're in it. Okay, shield on. Let's say for Farian, one of the best abilities, let's say in the game right now, is his taunt ability.
Oh yeah, I use
Because
it a
he
lot.
has, yeah, because he has a taunt, a shield, and he can take, with his W ability, he can replenish his health.
Oh yeah, that's right. Usually I use a Ferian, right, with a bunch of mages, like a healer maybe, and then Melingar for extra damage. Yeah, that's usually a great combination because basically mages they deal like a massive damage, and then you have Ferion who can taunt, so it's very easy to like attract all the damage towards him, and while the mages are doing all the damage.
Exactly. I didn't take mages. That was actually one of the things that you should do. But
Yes.
it's all up to the player on what heroes they have and what let's say what is the combination of choice for each player, what they want to achieve and what kind of strategy they're building around their units. Okay, taunt, and they're all plucking.
So, what was your thought behind this unit selection? What's your strategy overall?
Overall, let's say, unfortunately, I lost Meligar, but the idea is that Farion gets all the units in one spot, and Sarnak and Meligar can just wipe them out with their damage abilities. That's let's say the straightforward tactic that I usually use. All right, and a healing fountain also spawned.
Good for you. Is it random when it spawns, or does it happen all the
Y-
time?
yeah, it let's say right now it happens. Let's say most of the time, but it will be toned down just a bit so that you let's say so that it's a bit more challenging. Okay, let's go with Sarnak. Okay. Let's try to lead them away.
Actually, have you a member in our audience that played Rise of Nations? Damn, that's a classic. Have you played
Oh,
Rise of
that's a
Nations, Nathan?
yes. I have played it extensively, along with Chris as well. I like the whole, let's say, aspect of you going through, let's say, the ages, starting, let's say, from let's
Yeah,
say the let's say
yeah, medieval
let's say
age
Middle
until
Ages,
into
yeah,
the
Middle
future.
Ages, and then going into the future, yeah, with let's say B-52 bombers. But yeah, it's a pretty fun game.
I would say like it's the best RTS or the most complete RTS that we still have nowadays. I mean, no RTS game achieved that level of like complexity when it comes to strategy, like can win in so many ways. Damn.
Exactly. Well, I think this is a failed attempt.
To clear the dungeon.
Yeah, let's say I don't have the unit capacity to get this done. Let's see. Okay, got one swordsman there. But yeah, also one thing that let's say in if we're looking at NFTs as a whole, and then how do you tackle the whole um, balancing of heroes in the future? That's one aspect that is kind of iffy, because if you're looking at ownership of digital assets, how much can you change for let's say for let's say Varian, and then if you own Varian, and then you want because you've always wanted to be, let's say, on the top of its game, but let's say for the stability and health of the game itself, some things will be tweaked. Some heroes will go up. Some heroes will go down a bit. But it's all in the name of balancing it out, making it, let's say, fun, and let's say always expanding and improving.
Yeah, I think like buffs and nerfs are part of every game. Like, I think like games that have been developed, they're finished. They're like complete for ages. Like League of Legends, for example, or Dota 2. Like every month they deliver a patch with like buffs and nerfs. Okay, and they've released the game, the full game, like years ago. So I think that's part of every game balancing. I think it's quite hard. I imagine.
Yeah, because let's say the more units, the more heroes you add to the game, the more complex it gets, and you have to check that you're not, let's say, causing more harm than good when you release a let's say new hero or new units that just, let's say, create a meta that just everybody sticks to the meta, and if it's not changing, then eventually the game will get, let's say, stale.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we're trying, we're let's say when we're uh, designing heroes and units, we're trying to steer clear from games like League of Legends, where they introduce a new hero. For the first few weeks, the hero is way overpowered or overtuned.
Yeah.
Then they nerf it, and people just stop playing it. Yeah, we're trying not to let's say make every new hero completely powerful, and having to just take that power away. We really don't want to do that.
Yeah, I feel like heroes right now, they're not that powerful. They actually die quite easily. Maybe it's
Yes,
because I don't have all the equipment on them.
well, yeah, and with equipment, pardon me.
Okay. So guys, what do you think? Hash Rush, what's your opinion? Let me know in the chat. Do you guys play it already, or are you waiting for the open beta tomorrow? So
Sorry
KK,
about that.
oh, it's okay, it's fine. No worries. Okay, that's great. Anything else you wanna share with us, Nathan?
Well, I think I tackled most of
Yeah.
the topics I wanted to to let's say tackle with you, and the questions also. I think I covered most of those.
Yeah, I think we went through everything basically. So yeah, I'm quite excited about Hash Rush, the Warcraft of Web3, and yeah, let's keep building and creating a great game for the NFT gaming community, because NFT gaming is just getting started. Nathan, thanks a lot for being in the Crypto Herd. Guys, thanks a lot for being here with us. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more NFT gaming content, and see you in the metaverse. So with